must learn how to suck. And that is true of what you do when you dream and when you die. So the plasma of your aura gets the privilege of being able to steer where it's going only by learning how to suck. Otherwise, you have no direction, literally. And this directly applies to your ability to navigate when you dream and when you die. Very important. And so we're here tonight to discuss how to learn how to suck. It really sucks, doesn't it?
So does your soul have to be a jelly soul to sort of in a torus form to suck like that? So
the plasma of your body is doing this physics. This is called embedding or embeddability. The little donut has to fit in the bigger donut by a certain ratio. And that ratio, that the little wave fits into the big wave non-destructively, non-destructive compression or embedding, that creates how you live inside the mind of God. How a little electric field survives in a bigger electric field. And that's the principle of perfect compression called fractality. So that's literally the shape of the plasma electric field of charge around your body. And when you learn how to suck, which is to say implode, or become fractally attractive. It's very attractive. Right? Or, as the lover would say, I would turn myself inside out for you, darling. What you're doing by turning inside out recursively is creating suction. And that suction is the centripetal force of implosion that holds your aura and everything together. It's the substance of we feeling in the language of Doris Lessing and the Sufis. It is why in a house with lots of love, the air feels syrupy, you know? So the skill to make that centripetal force is the difference between life and death. In the language of the seed companies that we're actually going to New Zealand tomorrow to talk to the seed companies about the science of this. But the language of the seed company, it is that the difference between a live seed and a dead seed is, in a live seed, it's called the plasm, which is the gooky liquid at the center of the seed. If that plasm has the ability to suck, to attract nutrient, to steer in water molecules at the right angle, again, it really sucks, then it's called a live seed. Otherwise, it's called a dead seed. And that difference is because the plasma around the plasm is centripetal. That's this. So now if you understand that, you can make an electric field to help a seed germinate. I repeat, make an electric field to help a seed germinate. We would like to understand that tonight because we're discussing how you hold your aura together, and part of the key is how you make an electric field to help a seed to germinate. Another way to say it is make an electric field to reduce aging, or make an electric field that creates bliss. The electric field that does it is the same in each case. In recent lectures, we've been using the example of this book, which is quite famous. It's called Seeds of Knowledge, Stone of Plenty. Yes?
Does it matter which angle the water comes into the seed? Is the angle important to that?
It's critical. It's critical. And the water that's healthiest, the clathrate cage, is actually dodecahedral. Oh, Roger, would you grab the blue model for us, please? Thank you, sir. Oh, I see. There's the gyroscope there also. Our favorite toy. There it went. So the water molecules that are actually most alive, the clathrate cage, actually nest just like this blue model, actually. So, and the reason water molecules nest in this geometry the same way DNA, Earth grid, and zodiac nest only in this way is because this creates golden ratio and therefore centripetal force. We showed the picture from New Scientist magazine and Nature magazine announcing the universe is dodeca and fractal. What they didn't know was that dodecafractal nature of the universe is why the universe is making the gravity that holds itself together. All built because the stellation of this dodeca is golden mean ratio. The principle we were wanting to demonstrate, since now Roger has helped us find our favorite toy. Let's see if we can play with our toy, just because it's one of my favorite things to do. So this is a simple gyroscope. Some of you have seen us play with this before. So if I have the quality of grace, then I will have the skill to nutate and precess this rotation in such a way as to add spin, which is how you walk to the communion rail with the quality of grace for Sister Mary Tabernacle, right? So Sister Mary Tabernacle was telling you when you're walking to the communion rail, you must have the quality of grace. What she meant was, in electrical engineering terms, what? She wasn't an electrical engineer? What she meant in electrical engineering terms was that you needed to move in such a way that a rotating field of charge would gather spin inertia. And that physics of the quality of grace is what you do when you feel how the spin rate of the nutation precession. So I'm pumping the long wave in such a way as to add spin to the short wave. That's the physics of the Qi in Tai Chi. That's how the Tai Chi master pushes you over with his charge without appearing to move. He's learned the skill to gather inertia of rotating charge by moving in the correct geometry. And that's the physics of the Qi as in Tai Chi, where the word Qi literally here simply means electric charge, biologic electric charge. And that's another point we like to make, that we have confused ourselves, sadly, by having too many names for one thing. Qi, orgone, baraka, shaktipat, waves of ek, projective geometry, etheric formative force. You know, everyone who invented every single one of those words simply did not know what a capacitor was. That's a problem. Steiner included, sweet guy, but he didn't know what an electric field was, so he calls it etheric formative force. It's a capacitive field that's measurable by capacitive coupling actions. And what he meant by projective geometry was the symmetry of that charge field. So this is the little slide we use. But note, if you move at the right angle, with the right change in velocity, so your angular rotation and your velocity change is correctly logarithmic, you should feel a definite tingle at the tip of your finger when you do that. Do you feel that? Feel it? So the curvature, the angle is important. You start going faster, then you end up going slower. And the curvature is critical. And that applies to any movement you make, whether it's your baby finger or your galaxy. If you get the velocity translation, it's called translation of vorticity. The velocity change right and the curvature right, you attract charge. That's the point. That's the Qi. That's the baraka. That's the shaktipat. That's the physics. So, now, we're going to go back to our picture of this germinating seed. I got distracted with our favorite toy. So, the reason this is used is because the short rate wave here is the spin rate of the planet. The long wave here is the phase relationship of planetary spin to zodiac spin. So when they put dolmen at major tetrahedral latitudes like Stonehenge, or rather Giza, Cydonia, at tetrahedral latitudes, they would modulate the spin rate of the planet to phase lock the long wave of zodiacal spin accurately in phase. And that exchange of inertia from the long wave cascading down through the short wave is called gravity. And so stabilizing gravity is actually part of the business of getting the dolmen properly planted. Just like the weights on your car tire to make it spin smoothly, except in this case, the weights on the planet, the dolmen, by modulating planetary spin to zodiacal spin, we're stabilizing gravity in order to stabilize atmosphere.